Hello everyone. So again, I'm here with one more important judgment in the 75 landmark Supreme Court judgment series. And as we know, this is a very famous, a historical judgment known as Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Sri Raj Narayan and another. And I just called it a historical judgment because it marks a significant position in our history relating to legal development, because this is not only the judgment in which after the independence, first time the election of any prime minister was challenged, but also in this particular judgment, the relationship between the legislature and the judiciary was examined, because as we know that in this case the parliament tried to impose its supremacy over the judiciary. So basically the challenge which was there was mainly regarding 39th Constitutional Amendment Act, which amended Article 329 capital A by adding clause 4 stating that the Indian courts cannot question upon any election of the prime minister, speaker or any other eminent position. So basically it tried to control the power of the judiciary relating to judicial review, which is again one of the most important aspect of the constitutional essence. Again, the right which was involved here is the right to free and fair election, that each and every individual has a right to get the free and fair election conducted. That means the election should not be according to any malpractice or any unfair means, because again, right to free and fair election is an integral part of Article 29, which guarantees right to life and personal liberty, and it is again a principle regarding justice, because as we have read कि हमारे preamble में it is clearly given justice in the form of political justice. So right to free and fair election is directly related to political justice, that there has to be fairness even in the fields of politics or any matters dealing with the political aspect of the nation. Again, the rule of law was involved. The concept of rule of law was involved in this case in such a manner that rule of law means the law is supreme. Each and every person is bound by the principle of law. Law is supreme. Law is equal. Law treats everyone equally. Each and every individual is equal in the eyes of law. Be it any private person, be it any person holding a constitutional position, law will be equal for all. And what is law? Law, as given under Article 13, is that any law passed by the legislature which violates any principle, any aspect of Part 3 of the Constitution will be unconstitutional or invalid. Here, the constitutional 39th Constitutional Amendment was challenged being invalid or unconstitutional as it violates the fundamental right impliedly given under Article 21. Also, it violates or it encroaches upon the basic structure theory, because again, as per the Keshwananda Bharati judgment, judicial review, rule of law, they are not just integral parts of a democratic nation, rather they are also, as per Keshwananda Bharati, they are a part of the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. And hence, the amendment was challenged, and along with that, the status of the election of the Prime Minister was also challenged in this case. So basically, judicial review was something which was in question, that whether the courts have the power to conduct judicial review of any law regarding or any the status of the law regarding the election or governing the election of Prime Minister, etc. So basically here The challenge was that basically the question was that whether the law, the parliament can amend the constitution in such a manner that such an amendment not only violates a right of an individual to challenge the elections, also whether that law by the legislature can also violate or infringe upon the theories of rule of law and judicial review. Also, certain provisions of the Rights of Peoples Act or Representation of Peoples Act, that is RPA, was also challenged. So basically, let's look at the details of the case and the factual background and what was the decision of the Supreme Court in this historical judgment. So now let's look at the judgment. The name of the judgment is Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Shri Raj Narayan and another. Let's look at the case details. Basically, the name of the case and the date of judgment was 7th of November 1975. It is a Supreme Court judgment, a 5 judges bench judgment comprising of Chief Justice A.N. Ray, Justice H.R. Khanna, Justice K.K. Mathew, Justice M.H. Beg, Justice Y.V. Chandrachud. And this is the complete citation of the judgment. Now let's look at the factual background. This case started with कि एक petitioner है. The petitioner here is the Prime Minister. Basically, Indira Gandhi was elected as a Prime Minister, appointed as a Prime Minister, basically reappointed as a Prime Minister. So, there was a complaint against the Prime Minister being a petitioner in this case. Alright, the complaint was filed by a person who belonged to another party who is the respondent in this case. This complaint was on the ground that the petitioner used unfair means or malpractices in this election, and hence the election was challenged that it is void, it should be declared as void, and hence a complaint was filed against Indira Gandhi, who was Prime Minister at that time, for involvement in unfair practices in the electoral process. During the election, the petitioner represented the Congress party and the respondent represented the Bharatiya Janata Party, that is BJP. The petitioner won the election and was reappointed as the Prime Minister of India. The respondent challenged the election by filing a petition before the Allahabad High Court. Alright, the respondent actually challenged by filing a petition before the Allahabad High Court, and in that particular petition, the respondent contended that the petitioner has used the government resources, that is the government funds, in an unfair manner. Alright, so basically, इस situation में the respondent had the onus to prove that unfair means or the malpractices were used by the petitioner here and violated the election rules given in the Representation of Peoples Act 1951, that is RPA. Followed by this, the Allahabad High Court found the petitioner guilty. So, as per the verdict of the Allahabad High Court, the petitioner was held guilty under section 123 clause 7 of RPA and her election was declared to be void. After that, the High Court, along with basically कि election को void करने के साथ साथ, there was a restriction which was imposed by the High Court upon the petitioner that the petitioner will be removed from the post and will not be allowed to participate in the election process for 6 years. Aggrieved by this, the case went to, now the petitioner aggrieved by this made a petition in the Supreme Court, जो अब हमें पढ़ना है, that is the landmark judgment. So basically, aggrieved by the decision, the petitioner appealed before the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court issued, as a result, Supreme Court ने Allahabad High Court के order पे stay impose कर दिया and the petitioner was allowed to attend the parliamentary proceedings but without a right to vote. During the pendency, so basically the case in the Supreme Court, the appeal in the Supreme Court was pending. In the meantime, there was a state emergency, which was basically as a consequence of it, there was a state emergency which was imposed, issued, and Along with that, 39th constitutional amendment was introduced, in which Article 329 capital A clause 4 was amended or was added in the constitution so as to restrict the power of the judiciary regarding judicial review. All right. So basically, which stated that the election of the prime minister, speaker could not be legally challenged in the Indian court. So basically, यहाँ पे एक individual के right को भी violate किया गया है, a right of the individual to challenge or to raise any kind of question upon the election, because there is a right to free and fair election. उसके enforcement पे direct indirect एक restraint लगाया गया. Other than that, the court's power, the power of the judiciary was also questioned, was also under the cloud of doubt. This amendment barred the Supreme Court from having jurisdiction under the ongoing case also, because here also this is regarding the election of the Prime Minister. The validity of the amendment was later challenged. The validity of the amendment was challenged later. So these are the legal provisions which are involved in this particular judgment. As I just mentioned, rule of law, judicial review, again the RPA, Representation of People's Act, and the most important, that is 39th constitutional amendment and Article 329 capital A. So basically, again, they have been enlisted again. These are the legal provisions which are involved. Now let's come at the judgment which the Supreme Court, basically what the Supreme Court did was, the Supreme Court in this particular petition by the petitioner, the Supreme Court upheld the principles. The Supreme Court upheld right to free and fair election. The Supreme Court upheld the rule of law. The Supreme Court upheld the concept of judicial review. Because all these things, directly, indirectly, as per the Keshwananda Bharati judgment, they are an integral part of the basic structure theory of the Constitution. Along with that, it was also held by the Supreme Court that the Parliament cannot be given a power to amend the Constitution in such a manner that it encroaches upon the vital aspects of the Constitution, which is nothing but the basic structure of the Constitution. All right, let's look at the judgment. The Supreme Court in this case observed the right to free and fair election is an integral part of the basic structure, as I just mentioned, that it is impliedly given under Article 21. Also, this is an integral part of the concept of political justice, which is enshrined in the preamble. The Supreme Court relied on the ruling of Keshwananda Bharati versus State of Kerala 1973 Supreme Court, where Article 329 capital A clause 4 of the Constitution held unconstitutional because it limits the power of the judiciary. What power? The power of upholding the rule of law, the power of removing the situation of lawlessness, the power of judicial review. All these things are a part of basic structure as per the Keshwananda Bharati judgment. इसीलिए the law, the Amendment Act, which violates or which takes away these kinds of principles, which basically creates a hindrance upon the basic structure theory, should be held unconstitutional. And hence it was held unconstitutional, and it was clearly held that the Parliament does not have an unlimited power to make amendments which alters the basic structure of the Constitution. It was also noted that the rule of law and judicial review, मैंने अभी आपको बताया that they are the fundamentals, the integrals of the concept of democracy, and the Parliament cannot override such fundamentals by amending laws. So that is how the relationship between the Parliament and judiciary was established or was clarified in this judgment. The Supreme Court further, in determining the validity of the election of the petitioner, held that there is no substantive evidence found against the petitioner for misusing the resources and the laws. As I just mentioned, the onus was upon the respondent because the respondent contended that there was a malpractice, and because there were no sufficient evidences against the petitioner, therefore the respondent was not able to discharge his onus, and as a result, it was held that there is no substantive evidence regarding malpractice done by the petitioner. The Supreme Court overturned the decision of the High Court and held the election valid. All right. So reverse कर दिया गया था इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट के जजमेंट को, and the election which was questioned was held to be valid. So that is the entire judgment जो अभी हमने discuss किया. We looked at the facts of the case, the legal provisions and the ratio of this case, specifically pointing towards those important constitutional aspects जो कि जिस वजह से basically this case is known as the historical case. Now let's look at some practice questions also. So basically एक prelims का question है, which fundamental aspect of democracy was emphasized by Supreme Court in deeming an amendment unconstitutional in the Indira Gandhi election case? A. Equality before law. B. Right to free and fair election. C. Freedom of speech. D. Right to life. So basically, even though right to free and fair election is also an implied integral part of right to life, but यहाँ पे more appropriate and more specific answer would be option B, that is right to free and fair election, which was directly the matter of challenge under this petition. So the answer would be option B. One more question is there, but this is a mains examination question, a descriptive one. Evaluate the role of judiciary in maintaining the sanctity of electoral processes in India, citing the case of Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan. So basically whatever we just discussed, because यहाँ पे judiciary का role पूछा गया है in maintaining the sanctity of electoral processes. So basically what we have to do is, यहाँ पे we have to mention that how in the Indira Gandhi case, the judiciary, the Supreme Court, by upholding the principles of rule of law, judicial review and right to free and fair election, how the Supreme Court had put a restriction upon the unlimited power of, or the unrestricted power of the parliament to amend the constitution. जैसे कि केशवानंदा भारती में we study about the power, how the power of the parliament is restricted. The power to amend the constitution is restricted. This is also a perfect example where the parliament, by enacting the 39th constitutional amendment, the parliament tried to overreach over the judiciary's power, to override the powers of the judiciary. But again, the Supreme Court in this judgment, by upholding the critical points regarding the constitutional essence, which are basically a part of basic structure, which is basically an application, direct or indirect application of the Keshwananda Bharati ruling. So by upholding these principles, the Supreme Court has tried to preserve the basic structure. That is the judgment of Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan, and all these principles you have to write in this case, in this question basically. So you have to start with what was the challenge, what was the case all about, and then you have to write the answer by elaborating upon that how there was a challenge, there was a question upon rule of law, judicial review, and what was the essence of the 39th constitutional amendment, and why the Supreme Court upheld the or followed the ruling of Keshwananda Bharati. Whatever we have just discussed is exactly the same thing what you have to write in this question. So that is all about this judgment. So that is all about this judgment. I'll see you very soon with another judgment or any other presentation that I have. So till then, have a nice day. Take care. Thank you so much.